They called him the Golden Voice, the doo-wop king, Mr. Easy, but most people today have never heard his name. Jesse Belvin could write 4 songs on a milk bag before the milk went cold. He had Etta James convinced he'd eclipse Sam Cooke and Nat King Cole combined. Stevie Wonder said he'd almost died just to meet him. Yet on February 6, 1960, hours after performing at the first integrated concert in Little Rock, Arkansas, Jesse Belvin died in a car crash at 27 years old. His wife, Joanne, died days later. Some call it an accident. Others believe it was murder. If you love uncovering hidden legends like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to Legends Underrated. This is the story of the man who should have been the biggest voice in music history and the night that silenced him forever. San Antonio, Texas, December 15, 1932. Jesse Lorenzo Belvin entered a world that didn't yet know what to do with a voice like his. By age 5, his family had relocated to Los Angeles, where the rhythm and blues scene pulsed through neighborhoods like blood through veins. Jesse didn't just sing, he absorbed music, let it reshape him from the inside out. His mother would later recall sending him to the store for milk and watching him return minutes later with 4 complete songs scribbled across the paper bag. Not ideas, not fragments, complete songs. Melodies, lyrics, structure, all of it flowing from him as naturally as breath. By 1950, at 18 years old, Jesse joined Big J McNeely's backing vocal group, 3 Dots and a Dash. His falsetto cut through the thick saxophone lines like moonlight through smoke. Within 2 years, he'd signed with Specialty Records, and by 1953, his track Dream Girl climbed to number 2 on the rhythm and blues charts. But just as momentum gathered, Uncle Sam came calling. Jesse was drafted into the Army around 1953, right when his career should have exploded. Most young artists would have been devastated. Jesse Belvin kept writing. Somewhere in a military barracks, Jesse penned a love song he originally called Dream Girl. But when he returned home on leave, he discovered something shattering. His friend had entered his mother's house, found the song on the piano where Jesse always kept his work, and taken it, changed the title, sold it. When Jesse heard Earth Angel by the Penguins on the radio, he recognized his own creation staring back at him like a ghost. The Betrayal cut deep, but what followed changed music history. Earth Angel became one of the first rhythm and blues singles to cross over onto pop charts, selling over 1 million copies in 1954 and 55. More importantly, it became the first song to bring white and black teenagers together during an era when segregation tried to keep them worlds apart. Jesse fought back. He took the matter to court, battled through legal disputes, and eventually secured co-credit alongside Curtis Williams and Gaynell Hodge from the Hollywood Flames. He got his royalties, but he learned a brutal lesson about the music industry in the 1950s. Black artists were prey. Record labels hunted for talent they could exploit, offering mere pennies for songs worth fortunes. Jesse would sell compositions for $100, sometimes less, just to help his family survive. He signed contracts under different names, joined multiple groups simultaneously, stack up legal obligations he didn't fully understand. The boy who could write songs on milk bags didn't yet know how to protect what he created, but someone else did. Her name was Joanne, and she didn't just love Jesse Belvin, she saw what he could become. They married on June 7th, 1953, and Joanne quickly realized that her husband's talent was being systematically stolen. So she did something almost unheard of for a black woman in the 1950s. She became his manager. She studied every contract, learned negotiation tactics, refused to let white executives intimidate her. When Jesse signed with RCA Victor Records in 1959, Joanne made certain his deal mirrored Elvis Presley's, complete with movie opportunities and publishing control. She even ensured their children's names appeared on the publishing rights, guaranteeing they'd live off royalties if anything happened to their parents. Joanne wasn't just business-minded, she was a songwriter herself. She penned Guess Who as a love letter to Jesse while he was away. He transformed her words into a silken ballad that climbed to number 36 on the pop charts and number 7 on rhythm and blues. That single earned Jesse 2 Grammy nominations at the inaugural ceremony in 1959. Best Male Vocal Performance, where he lost to Frank Sinatra, and Best Rhythm and Blues Performance, where Dinah Washington took the trophy. Still, the nominations alone prove what insiders already knew: Jesse Belvin was ascending towards something monumental. Stories like these are why I built Legends Underrated. Make sure you're subscribed for more untold tales. RCA Victor Records saw Jesse as their answer to Capitol Records' Nat King Cole. They wanted to market him as the Black Elvis, a smooth crooner who could capture white audiences without alienating black fans. It was a tightrope walk. Jesse recorded the album Just Jesse Belvin in April 1959, featuring orchestral arrangements by Shorty Rogers and standards like My Funny Valentine and Witchcraft. Later that year came Mr. Easy, arranged by Marty Peich with saxophonist Art Pepper. Lou Rawls would call it the greatest jazz pop LP ever made. But Jesse felt something slipping away. As RCA groomed him for crossover success, his connection to black audiences began to fray. He worried he was becoming a product, polished and packaged for white consumption, while his own community forgot his name. So when the Rhythm and Blues Caravan Tour came calling in early 1960, Jesse jumped at the chance. This wasn't a Chitlin Circuit tour, it was the first rock and roll show of 1960, featuring an all-black roster, including Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, and Marv Johnson. The tour would culminate in something historic, the first integrated concert in Little Rock, Arkansas, bringing black and white teenagers together under one roof. Little Rock. The name alone carried weight. Just 3 years earlier, the Little Rock 99 black students attempting to integrate Central High School had faced physical assaults, acid thrown in eyes, and the National Guard called in just to escort them safely through hallways. Arkansas was a place where hatred wore a uniform, and Jesse Belvin was about to walk directly into its heart. February 6, 1960. The 2,600-seat Robinson Auditorium in Little Rock buzzed with an energy both electric and dangerous. White teenagers sat beside black teenagers, an arrangement that enraged white supremacists watching from the mezzanine. Jesse had already received at least 6 death threats before even arriving. He'd called his mother multiple times during the tour, something he rarely did, his voice tight with fear. She'd grown accustomed to hearing from him once every few weeks, but 3 phone calls in 3 days? That terrified her. She begged him to come home. He told her he had to finish what he started. The concert began. Almost immediately, chaos erupted. White supremacists screamed racial slurs from the balcony, hurled glass bottles toward the stage, and physically confronted white teenagers who refused to leave. The show stopped twice. Jackie Wilson, furious and frightened, nearly refused to perform. The promoter and police argued with the artist backstage, but the show continued, powered by something stronger than fear: defiance. When it finally ended, police escorted Jesse, Jackie, Sam, and the others toward their vehicles. That's when witnesses reported seeing something chilling. 5 young white men lingering near Jesse and Jackie's cars. 2 appeared to be blocking the view, while another crouched beneath Jesse's black Cadillac. Jesse managed to escape the parking lot, but the image haunted those who saw it. Inside the Cadillac, Jesse Belvin, his wife Joanne, their guitarist friend Kirk Davis, and driver Charles Shackelford. Shackelford had a troubled history. Ray Charles had recently fired him for drinking on the job and falling asleep behind the wheel during long drives. But somehow, Shackelford had landed this gig, and now he was steering the car away from Little Rock toward their next stop in Dallas, Texas. The highway stretched dark and empty ahead. Jesse wrapped his arm around Joanne. Both drifted to sleep. Behind them, Kirk Davis sprawled across the back seat exhausted. Only Shackelford remained awake until he didn't. The car swerved. Jesse, jolted, awake, saw the headlights of an oncoming vehicle barreling toward them, and in that split second, grabbed Joanne's head and shoved it beneath the dashboard. Then came the impact, metal screaming, glass exploding, flames erupting. Jesse Belvin, thrown through the windshield, nearly decapitated. Charles Shackelford, killed instantly. The couple in the other car, a husband and wife from Milwaukee, dead on impact. 5 lives extinguished in seconds. Musicians following behind saw a horrible red glow lighting up the Arkansas sky. When they reached the wreckage, they found a scene too devastating to process. Joanne survived the initial crash. Barely. She had a crushed pelvis, a crushed chest, a broken arm. She was taken to Hope Hospital, just outside Little Rock. But here's where the story turns even darker. The hospital refused to treat her until they received payment. Joanne Belvin, 23 years old and dying, lay untreated while someone frantically tried to contact Jackie Wilson in Dallas. Jackie drove back through the night with cash in hand. By the time he arrived and paid, Joanne had drifted in and out of consciousness for hours. 4 days later, on February 10th, 1960, she died from her injuries. This twist shocked the world, and if you never want to miss stories like this, subscribe to Legends Underrated today. One of the first Arkansas state troopers on the scene made a statement that ignited decades of speculation. Both rear tires on Jesse Belvin's Cadillac had been obviously tampered with. He offered no further details, no photographs were taken, no formal report was filed. The statement simply disappeared into the void, leaving only questions. Had someone slashed the tires in Little Rock? Had they planted something beneath the car while those 5 men surrounded the vehicles? Or had Charles Shackelford, exhausted and possibly intoxicated, simply nodded off and veered into oncoming traffic? The black community didn't need proof to know the truth, or what they believed was the truth. A young black man and his wife, fleeing a racist mob after performing at an integrated concert, dead hours later under suspicious circumstances. In the Deep South, in 1960, it wasn't difficult to connect those dots. Jackie Wilson refused to accept it as mere accident. He told the press he'd hired a lawyer to investigate. He'd experienced his own car trouble leaving Little Rock that night, convinced someone had tampered with his vehicle too. But no investigation materialized. No charges were filed. No justice served. Jesse Lorenzo Belvin, 27 years old. Joanne Belvin, 23 years old. Wikipedia mistakenly lists her as 25, but Find a Grave records confirm she was born April 30th, 1936, making her 23. Both were buried side by side at Evergreen Cemetery in Boyle Heights, Los Angeles. Their 2 sons were left orphaned, raised by Jesse's mother. The music industry moved on. RCA released the unforgettable Jesse Belvin in 1961, a posthumous album that felt like a ghost whispering from beyond. Decades later, Jesse Belvin Jr., now a singer himself, still searches for answers. He stated publicly that he believes Earth Angel The song stolen from his father might be connected to his parents' deaths, though he's never elaborated on why. He's working on a book, trying to piece together fragments of truth from a story deliberately obscured by time and silence. Meanwhile, Sam Cooke, Jesse's friend and admirer, signed with RCA Victor Records shortly after Jesse's death, inheriting the crossover dream Jesse never lived to fulfill. In the Netflix documentary The Two Killings of Sam Cooke, there's footage of Sam boycotting segregated shows after Jesse's death, refusing to perform in environments that might kill him too. He was terrified, and perhaps he should have been. Jesse Belvin never made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A petition was started in 2013 by actress Jeanette Baker, whose great aunt was Josephine Baker and who'd been friends with Jesse. The petition went nowhere. Meanwhile, artists of far lesser influence have been inducted, their plaques hanging in Cleveland while Jesse's name remains absent. It's an injustice compounded by another. Jesse Belvin was the first member of the 27 Club, that cursed roster of musicians, who died at 27. Later joined by Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse. He started a tragic legacy he never asked for, but his music refuses to die. Earth Angel still plays at proms and weddings, a song about eternal love written by a man whose life was stolen. Goodnight My Love became the closing theme to Alan Freed's rock and roll radio shows, a lullaby from a voice silenced too soon. And guess who? Joanne's love letter transformed into Jesse's gift back to her remains, a testament to what they built together before hatred ripped them apart. Lou Rawls was right. Mr. Easy is one of the greatest albums ever made. Etta James was right. Jesse Belvin could have been bigger than Sam Cooke, bigger than Nat King Cole. Stevie Wonder was right. The world lost someone irreplaceable that night in Hope, Arkansas. Was it an accident or was it murder? The truth died with Jesse and Joanne on that dark highway, buried beneath decades of silence and erased evidence. What remains is the music, the mystery, and the haunting question of what might have been. Jesse Belvin deserved better. His wife deserved better. Their sons deserved answers. And we, the listeners, deserve to hear what else that golden voice could have given the world. Instead, we're left with fragments of genius and a story that refuses to let go. A legend underrated, a talent extinguished, and a suspicion that will never fade. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you think. Rest in peace, Jesse and Joanne. Your voices still echo through time, even if justice never came.